indicated tornado. We don't have any indications that it is on the ground, or we'd see hash marks inside that red square. All right, so moving rapidly at about 38 miles an hour. These storms are racing off to the north here tonight or this evening, and as a result, that would put it into Jefferson at about 6:03. Gethsemane just shortly after that, about 6:23, and then it would hop over into Louisiana by 6:29. So some open land out there, but if you live in that open land, of course, you're impacted. I don't see a real tight rotation within this storm right now. I will, however, go back to our reflectivity mode just to get an idea on this storm. And as I do that, what we want to take a look at, and I'll put this into motion, you'll be able to see a little bit of a hook here near Harleton. The lightning certainly has increased on that storm. By the way, that's the only warning that we have right now. And that, again, that is a tornado warning. But as I place this into motion, you'll see how fast the storm is moving and just how it's rotating. And there's probably some hail also inside that storm as it moves now more into Marion County. We're probably going to clear Harrison County here real soon. That's north of Interstate 20. So no worries for anyone driving Interstate 20. They would be looking to their north and being able to see the cell as it tracks into those areas. Otherwise, the amount of lightning strikes that we're seeing off of this is pretty substantial. In fact, if I pull this out here, just from Harleton over toward Jefferson, that's about 95 lightning strikes within the last 15 minutes. But if we go back toward Ore City and pull out those lightning strikes, the lightning, 219 lightning strikes within the last 15 minutes. So it's telling us that there is tremendous amounts of rain inside that thunderstorm. There's also probably some hail in that thunderstorm as well as it works its way northeast. I don't see any Titan indicator like we have up here toward Linden to be able to look inside that storm right now, but that's okay. That just kind of gives us an idea that there is a lot of lightning, a lot of rain, and some circulation also coming within that cell. All right, we'll go back to the wind tracker here, and again, that circulation looks fairly wide, but it is tight enough that a tornado warning has been issued. And now we're just down to Cass and Miller County, Cass, Harrison, and Marion County also. So Miller County is going to be up onto southwestern parts of Arkansas. So they've extended that tornado warning out just a little bit farther into Cass County. There's also another tornado warning out to the east toward Bossier City. And this is all within a tornado watch that has been issued here this evening until midnight for some of the eastern counties, which I'll talk about here in just a second. But you can see, looking at that tornado warning, that it is east of Longview, north of Marshall, so it's a fairly small area currently that we are looking at. All right, let me take a look at the overall tornado watch again as we have that in effect for us here tonight. Also want to take a look at the, just check on the correlate. I want to see if there's any damage being reported with that storm, and it doesn't look like right now that we're seeing anything of that magnitude. So looking at the wind again, we're seeing the wind, and I'll turn off the lightning so we get a better look at that storm. It looks like it's east of Harleton over toward Jefferson. What about hail on that storm? The hail inside that storm should be, well, let's see, we can get a look at it just a little bit. There's not a ton of hail inside that storm. You can see it was larger. The hail core back toward Harleton was larger. In fact, that might be the hail core now showing up in the magnitude of some nickels to almost quarter-sized hail. So we are getting some severe hail out of that thunderstorm also. Tornado warning goes until 6:15. That's going to be your northern half of Harrison County. And also that tornado warning has been extended up into Miller and Cass County. So there's a secondary location or a secondary rotation that is showing up at this time. All right, let me go back to our wind tracker here and see if we can find out any other areas. There is another area of rotation down here south of Henderson that we're seeing here toward Laneville, toward the Pleasant Grove area. So we'll keep an eye on that. Currently, it's not warned. We don't have any warnings on that cell right now. So we'll see if something can pop off on that. But I'll keep the radar zoomed in on that because that is just southwest of Henderson. And if we were going to get a tornado warning on something else, it could be that cell there. National Weather Service is saying that the new tornado warning is coming for Linden. So they're talking about the city of Linden. That's the new one. And they are also looking at that storm as it was moving out of eastern Gregg County and away from Longview and Gregg County into Harrison County. So that's where we stand right now with that tornado warning. I'm going to go back to reflectivity here just to check out what we have in terms of the storm itself. These storms are moving 38 to 40 miles an hour, rapidly moving through the atmosphere here tonight. Again, we've got, no, I think we're fine. We're fine. We've got this, really, it's all about this one cell right here, this cluster of showers and thunderstorms as it moves up out of Harrison and Marion County. If we get a tornado warning on this cell, then we'll be on a little bit longer. It's trying to turn a little bit, but it is, and it's kind of more open, but it is at the tail end of everything currently. Not a lot of lightning with that cell, so it doesn't look like it's as strong as that other thunderstorm up there to the northwest. That's west of Highway 49 or Interstate 49, but right over Jefferson, you're getting just hit with a ton of rainfall. So let me stop the radar and give it a pause here. And as I do, I'll put this back into motion, bring it up to its current status. I want to look at the rainfall rates inside that storm, because if we're looking at the rainfall rates, we could be looking at within the last 1 hour, it'll calculate here and pick up, and you'll just see the amounts of rain that we've seen as this storm moves in here. It's about, well, it's only around 3/10 to 6/10 of an inch of rainfall, so not a lot of heavy rain. Maybe some hail that moved through the Longview area into western parts of Cass County. So that's what we're looking at this time. All right, so let me go back to the wind tracker here. And again, there's the tornado warning, 615 Cass, Harrison, Marion County. It's that little circulation that we're seeing now that's moved. It looks like it's now moved east of Harleton, southwest of Jefferson, kind of wide. It doesn't look tremendously strong. It looks like it's trying to tighten up just a little bit. If I zoom real close in on that, it's going to be right in here. In fact, this little area has gotten a little bit stronger. Harleton currently inside that tornado warning, but again, the danger has passed. All right, so Harleton, you're fine, even though you remain inside that tornado warning. The cell itself has passed. You're probably looking at it back to the northeast. All right, so we have a Titan indicator up here. Let me see if I can get a good feel for what's going on. So there might be some larger hail in there, but look how fast the storm's moving. To the northeast at 46 miles an hour, 100% chance that it has at least some nickel-sized hail inside that storm. Now, what's the chance that we have quarter-sized hail inside that storm? About 80%. The wind impact's up to a 9, so there could be a whole lot of wind, even though our Titan indicator says the tornado impact currently at a 0, despite that tornado warning. So why would that be? Well, that could easily be because we are getting a lot of wind spreading out within the storm, but the rotation, as you see here, looks fairly broad to be creating anything on the ground. And as far as we know from spotters in that area, we do not have any hash marks within that polygon. And we always say respect the polygon. So if you live in Woodlawn and Baldwin, you should be in your safe place right now. If you're in Jefferson, certainly want to be in your safe place, and that's going to be the lowest interior room that you can find with no windows for sure. Bathrooms are always the best if they're in the center portion of the house. If it's a closet, that's also a good place to also search and go there. Take some blankets, some pillows with you, and just stay there until we have the all clear. We're also broadcasting live with our radio partners. That's going to be 106.5 Jack FM, Kicks 105.7, also 103.7 The Ranch, and La Invasora 96.7. We'll be broadcasting with them until the threat is cleared, and then they'll go back to regular programming. But currently, in addition to that tornado warning, there's also a severe thunderstorm warning for Bowie, Cass, Marion, and Miller County. All right, so we just got some new data here on that Titan indicator. So let's see what, looking inside that storm, of course, we're using mathematics. We're using an algorithm to look inside that storm. It doesn't look like much has changed. The wind impact has come up quite a bit. The hail impact has also come up, and the flooding impact has come up, but we're still staying on the lower end of things when it comes to that tornado impact. But we'll check with the Weather Service and see if there are any reports. That tornado warning, again, goes until 6:15 for Cass, Harrison, and Marion County. And again, it's not all of Marion County, or I mean all of Harrison County, I should say. If I widen things out, you get a better perspective of what we're talking about. You can see it's the northern half or northwest half, so Marshall is not included in that. Jefferson, however, is included, and it's really kind of moving into that area of southwestern Marion County, and then it's been extended up into Cass County. There's another tornado warning also for the city of Linden with another rotation here up in Cass County. I'll take a look at that. That one looked a little bit stronger a little bit ago. It looks like it's fairly disorganized, so not a whole lot of super concern with that, but that's going to be east of Highway 8 now moving out of the city of Linden. That's going to be north and west of Kildare. Kildare, by the way, you're also in the other polygon. So is Lodi or Lodi as this storm moves up through Berea and Jefferson. So Jefferson, I'd want you to be in your safe place. Berea also in your safe place as the storm tracks northeast. Let me put another track on this. In order to do that, we're going to have to turn off some of the warning polygons. Just know that you are under a tornado warning until 6:15, so about the next 20 minutes. The storm, at least according to our Titan indicator, now moving at the rate of about 43 miles an hour. So it is moving even faster than what we were initially showing signs of, where that storm was moving roughly at about perhaps 38 miles an hour, but now it is even moving quicker than that. All right, so let's we're going to track the circulation itself up to the northeast. We're going to follow the box at 43 miles an hour, and that is going to put this storm all the way up into Jefferson here by about 6:07. So you have time to go to your safe place in Jefferson. I would certainly head there. Also at Lodi about 6:18, Rodessa 6:24, and then of course it moves over into northwestern Louisiana, southwestern Arkansas by that time. So we're only talking about a few more minutes to just kind of hang out in your safe place here in southwestern parts of Marion County. It does look like Harrison County should be taken out of this watch. I'm sure that watch will be, or the warning should be dropped for Harrison County here pretty soon as the cell moves rapidly off to the northeast. So no reports yet, and I'll check again with the Weather Service here, of any type of tornado on the ground, but certainly, as you can tell, we have a little bit of rotation. It did tighten up just a little bit, and as it tightened up, what we're eventually looking at here is the possibility. So radar indicated tornadoes, and that will happen. In fact, it looks like they've, let's see, the Weather Service has canceled a tornado warning over on the Louisiana side for Claiborne Parish, Webster Parish, and Columbia County, Arkansas, but continuing the tornado warning for Marion, Cass, and Harrison counties. And so, in addition to the tornado warning, there's a little bit of hail, but it looks like at this time this is going to be radar indicated rotation. So tornado, quarter-sized hail with that storm. As we've mentioned, Jefferson would be more in line in the path of the rotation. So looks like we have a new severe thunderstorm warning also attached to that storm that may replace a tornado warning. Hard to say. Sometimes they'll place a severe thunderstorm warning and then put a tag on it that says that there is a tornado possible in that storm, but then issue a severe thunderstorm warning with that. So I'm going to drop the warnings off of this. We're going to clear this out and give you kind of a good look at what we're looking at in terms of this storm. So there it is. It does look like that rotation's picked up just west and northwest of Harrison. So that's a tighter rotation we're seeing here. Let me zoom all the way in. This is going to be Highway 49 south of Kellyville over toward Highway 59. And let me just do one thing. Usually we want less than 2 miles on that rotation if we're going to have something that's going to be able to form and touch the ground. Right now that rotation's just a little broad at about 3 miles. So a mile would be really close. And when you have a mile circulation from, what I'm saying is the winds that are going away from the radar here in Jefferson toward the winds that are blowing toward the radar, if that circulation gets any tighter, then it could spin something down to the ground. But right now, just radar indicated, strong updraft being noted by our Titan indicator at this time. Highway 49 would be right in the path of that. So if you live in Kellyville, I need you to be in your safe place. Again, when we talk about our safe place, we're going to the most interior room on the lowest level of your house. If you live in an apartment and you need to go down to the first floor or have a friend that you can hide out with, just do that and stay there until that storm passes. And it is going to pass pretty soon. Again, we're talking about a storm that's moving nearly 45 miles an hour. So these things are just racing northeastward, so there's not a whole lot of concern that the storms are going to stick around for a long period of time. So once you get rid of that warning, there is another storm downstream that I want to look at here, but just keep in the back of your mind that we do have a tornado warning there in northeastern parts of Texas here over toward Jefferson, Marion, Cass, and Harrison counties until 6:15. All right, let me zoom it back out. And I want to give it just a little bit more perspective. Now, if you look at the wide view of that, you can see that Harrison County's come out of that. I am watching another cell down here toward Henderson, but currently it is unwarned at this time. The environment up over this part of northeast Texas is really, in the Arklatex, is really more conducive for a tornado warning than, say, anywhere else. So that is, I think, why part of that. When you have a conducive environment, when you have a circulation that shows up on radar such as that, then you're going to get some tornado warnings or even a severe thunderstorm warning as those cells move into those areas. All right, still going, not seeing any cancellation on the Harrison County portion of the storm, though the circulation now is moving just almost through to the northwest side of Jefferson. So if you live in Jefferson, I hope you're in your safe place. You're following along with the CBS 19 app, also streaming on CBS 19 Plus. Heading into the evening, we will join CBS 19 News at 6 o'clock once we get the all clear from the National Weather Service on this tornado warning. But for current sake, we're going to stay on until the warning has either been expired or allowed to or canceled by the Weather Service. All right, so let me see. We're checking with the Weather Service. They're not giving us any indication of seeing any type of confirmation of anything on the ground. So you're just still looking at a big, wide area of rotation here. It looks like it's widened out just a little bit southwest of Kellyville, west of Jefferson. Our Titan indicator is also showing just a little bit of a weakening phase on that storm. We also have that tornado warning that is in parts of Cass County up in the Arklatex into Miller County in southwestern Arkansas. So we'll see. Right now we have a warned storm again. We can look to see if there's any type of correlation of some damage. There's a whole lot of lightning with that, so I got to go turn off the lightning. Would never be able to see beneath all the lightning on that cell. There's a lot of lightning. We did measure 219 lightning strikes within that cell in the last 15 minutes. So what I'm looking for here is any type of precipitate or something that would show up that would not be what we would consider meteorological, meaning if it's not going to be rain. In fact, there is something there a little bit, but that's in the wrong place. So our circulation's back here toward Jefferson. There's something up there toward on the county line of right here, but that is displaced from where we should have something showing up here down toward Jefferson. So it may just be sort of a false radar return, and that can happen when you have storms like this. So if we're going to have some damage, it would be right in there west of Jefferson, but I don't see that. Again, this is probably too wide to create damage at this time. Okay, well, now we got another scan. Jump to the northwest of Jefferson. So the danger has now passed Jefferson, so you can come out of your safe place. It's headed up toward, I believe it's Lodi, and we'll continue in that direction. Now starting to get into northern Marion County and into southern Cass County. Once it gets into southern Cass County, we're going to go back to regular programming because technically this would be outside of the CBS 19 viewing area. And then should that storm continue after 7 o'clock, of course, we'd hop back on with live streaming from CBS 19 and CBS 19 Plus and on our Facebook channel. All right, let me widen it all back out just a little bit farther. No updates on the warning itself. It's still going on till 6:15, so we got about 12 more minutes on that. But it does look like that cell itself, as I put this into motion for us, we can see the rotation just kind of just tightened up here. It wasn't doing much as it left Gregg County, and then it got into northwestern Harrison County and back into Marion County, and it got a little bit stronger. And as it got stronger, then the tornado warning was issued. But no reports of any damage with the cell right now. It currently sits right in this area here. In fact, I got to update this just a little bit one more time. Get through there, pause on that, and if we can do that, let me go back, and there it is. Let me pause it over here. All right, and as we pause this radar loop and go back to what we're looking at, we'll be able to get a good view of where we're talking about. Looks like in fact, there it is. So north of Jefferson, it looks like that circulation's gotten a little bit tighter. Let me see if the Weather Service is reporting any storm spotters in that area saying that there's anything that's possibly forming or on the ground. They are continuing the tornado warning for Marion, Cass, and Harrison County till 6:15, even though it looks like that circulation has moved out of Harrison County. So that is just kind of give you what I can see from this. So if you live north of Jefferson, I think even Jefferson you may be okay because that cell itself has moved north of Jefferson, but it is trying to tighten up. Bigger hail, at least showing up in our Titan indicator. Let me check out that hail core inside that cell and see what we're talking about. If there's a big hail track in that storm, then we're looking at the potential for some damage from hail on top of what we would typically see if we just had rain and thunder and things of that nature coming down. Right now, there it is, some larger hail in the order of perhaps some, let me go to the hail tracker here so we can get a key on that. So you're looking at, it's moved right over Prospect currently, and that is showing up as some $half-dollar sized hail right here between Prospect and Jefferson. And that hail could cause damage, could break windshields, could dent cars as it moves northeastward toward Gethsemane. So anywhere uncertain, I would be in my safe place right now. I would also be in my safe place down toward, well, Woodlawn. It looks like the threat is passed. I say uncertain because we're not sure that this storm doesn't make a right-hand turn, and if it makes a right-hand turn, then we possibly could have the storm headed in that direction. Most likely this is going to follow its path up to the northeast at roughly 43 miles an hour was the last estimation on that. I'll put a track on that hail core. We do have the circulation, but we do have the hail core also to think about. And that hail core itself could cause some problems here. 43 right there. So you'd be looking at McLeod, Rodessa, eventually over across the Louisiana border pretty quickly. By 6:26, it's going to be out of the area. So we'll keep tracking this for the next few minutes. Again, once it moves into Cass County, we'll go back to CBS 19 News at 6 o'clock. There's another little hail core there northeast of Linden. That one is moving away and moving into southwestern Arkansas. This is in northern Marion County, even though the tornado warning itself continues for Harrison County till 6:15, but there's your circulation. That's just north of Jefferson. So we'll pop that into motion, zoom in on this again. Again, we track that hail core, and the hail core is essentially right around that circulation or very close to that. So we had it right there at Prospect and Jefferson. So as that whole circulation moves northeastward, we've got to get areas, anybody that lives inside that red shaded area, and it's going to be into Louisiana pretty quick. Let me track this again for us. This is going to be the circulation alone at 43 miles an hour. So you can see it's already into Louisiana pretty fast. McLeod, please get to your safe place if you're watching us from McLeod, Rodessa, Ida, and then it would be over into Arkansas at that time. So now it looks like it's broadened back out. There's a lot of wind flowing in toward the storm at this time, and some weaker winds flowing away from the storm currently. So just a couple more minutes, and then you guys let me know if we need to just go to break and come back. That's fine, because I think what we're seeing here is this storm is going to start to move out of any of the area, and it may continue to weaken. We have not had any reports yet. We're only about 7 minutes away from the storm itself expiring. And okay, so we're going to toss it to break here in just a minute. Just want one more scan out of this. If we get this close to the Cass County line, then we can give the all clear for Marion County also. We do have some friends and relatives live over there, so we want to stay on for the folks that live out there toward Jefferson. Again, Jefferson saw the storm pass off to your northwest, but it looks like it's going to pass safely by. Marshall is not in danger anymore. There is a severe thunderstorm warning still in effect for some of those counties around that. When I go back to the overall reflectivity, this is just how much lightning we're seeing inside that storm. And I'm just going to look at the overall lightning in the storm as we stay on for a couple more minutes. 525 strikes in the last 15 minutes. That's a powerful thunderstorm when you think about it. Again, yesterday I talked about isolated severe thunderstorms. This is what we mean. We get one severe thunderstorm warning, but it ends up being a tornado warning. Fortunately, so far, we have not heard any reports of damage. Let's hope it stays that way. Let's hope that's just a rotation indicated by radar, that it has some scary looking clouds with it, that if anybody got a picture of it and did it safely, please share that with us. Would love to see video or a picture. Email to news@cbs19.tv, or also email to the Weather Center, weather@cbs19.tv. Otherwise, just stay in your safe place until that storm passes. It's near Prospect, between Prospect and Jefferson, but it's north of Jefferson, so we're not seeing as much in the way of the danger in Jefferson right now. Marion County remains in the tornado warning until 6:15. So you can see that it looks like we still have just that little sliver of Harrison County inside that, but Marion County would be more so till 6:15. So just in about 4.5 minutes from now until that tornado warning is allowed to expire. I don't see a downward extension of the storm. If we did, it would be over onto the Louisiana side. This storm is not taking on the same kind of motion or form or shape that it had a little bit earlier. It is inside that tornado watch area. This is northeast of Henderson. That is the Tatum storm with some thunderstorms, just a couple of lightning strikes. So not a ton of concern with that. This one here has moved into the area where there's just a little more, let's say a few more ingredients that would have supported a tornado warning at this time. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We'll send it to break, and when we come back, we'll join up with CBS 19 News at 6 o'clock. Thanks for watching our special coverage of this tornado warning for Marion and Harrison County and parts of Cass County until 6:15. We'll see you back here in just a couple minutes.